And this is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh man, Trump has caught everybody. And all these things that they've been doing to try to stop Trump have just all immediately backfired. And this is just amazing. It is absolutely amazing. You know, you've always got to bet on Trump, right? Always bet on Trump. And they thought they did something to Trump by releasing these bizarre things the other day, claiming their files, and it is all backfired on them. And Trump is about to win again, like he always does. So I'm going to break all that down and talk about it when the program starts. And I'll be starting in just a couple moments. Now, to see and hear all the video and the audio and everything I show visually, you have to go to my main stream, which is linked in the description of the episode. And if you go there, you can catch everything. Also, and if you go there, you can also you can call in. Let me make sure I got that set up. Okay, yes, you can call in. The toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. Okay. How many times do you guys have to verify your Twitter? I have to verify mine all the freaking time. It's ridiculous. Okay. All right. I'm going to start the main stream now so you guys can go over there and join there. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. Well, Trump has them again, totally beaten and exposed. We're going to cover all of this. Last week, there was a panic in Democrat circles because they were losing again over the shutdown, and they released some things that they said were Epstein files. And here we are. President Trump flew back to Washington from here in Florida last night. He lands at Joint Base Andrews, which I still call Andrews Air Force Base because that's what it was when I was growing up. And he tells them to release the Epstein files. And he puts a big post here on True Social, which I'll go through in a little bit. But I want to talk a little bit about these Epstein files. What exactly do these people want Trump to release? Why are they always asking President Trump or saying that President Trump should release the Epstein files? President Trump does not have in his possession access to or authority over any of these so-called mythical Epstein files that everyone is talking about. You know, there's been this whole myth and legend created around the so-called Epstein files, all right? And people have in their mind that there's some vault somewhere at the federal government, somewhere in Washington, there's a vault. You walk into this vault, and I guess there's like a filing cabinet in there full of files. There is no such thing as the Epstein files, as people have believed. I mean, my goodness. If any kids are listening that are young, please tune them out for a moment. But the Epstein files are less real than Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Less real. I'll say it in that way, just in case. There are no Epstein files like people are talking about. This is what there are that exist. Okay, in Congress, there are documents that may be filed from testimony, from interviews, things people have said on in congressional hearings and such. So there are some files of things that happened in Congress revolving Epstein. There are some documents at the Justice Department that are related to Epstein legal cases. And then there's a whole bunch of documents that are under the authority of various federal judges, from testimonies and depositions given in their court or trials or cases that were in front of their court. Okay? And so there's things spread through Congress, through the Justice Department, and through courts. President Trump, and by the way, Pam Bondi as well, President Trump and Pam Bondi, no, this is not theory, this is fact, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this because, you know, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like there becomes a point where children understand the truth about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, but they don't want to say it out loud. They want to still live the fantasy. There's a lot of people out there that still want to live this fantasy. There's no so-called Epstein files that President Trump or Pam Bondi have access to and can release. President Trump has access to 0 Epstein files. 0. The documents that Pam Bondi has access to are connected to cases that have been handled by the Justice Department through the federal court system. And a couple months back, you may remember, Pam Bondi went to a federal judge to get these documents released, and the judge denied it. I'm sorry to tell you this inconvenient truth, to take a phrase from Al Gore, but that's the reality of it. And I think when I tell this to you guys, you know, you understand. Those of you that that live in this Epstein world are going to continue to believe that. But President Trump has 0 access to any so-called Epstein files. And he has 0 authority to get the people that are in possession of these documents to release them. Now, maybe I'm not as up to speed on the powers of the presidency that you are, but how can President Trump force a federal judge to release testimony and documents and transcripts and depositions and such from his court? How does the President of the United States have such an authority? Is there some authority that I don't know about? Congress. How can the President of the United States, whoever they are, force Congress to release documents? What is he supposed to do? Gather the Marines and march over to Congress and take them? Well, that doesn't sound like a good idea. You guys don't like President Trump walking over to that building. So I'm sorry to burst your bubble or shock you out of your fantasy, but if you want Epstein files and documents released, President Trump doesn't have any, and he doesn't have access to any, and any that he knows about, he doesn't have authority over. It's up to Congress and judges who have these records to release them. And that's why President Trump has called upon Congress to take a vote and release everything. I'll play you the audio of all of that. We'll go through this on the program today. And I'd very much like to take your calls as well. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. I'm going to have some by Starbucks. I'm a little behind on my coffee, guys. I did have some coffee earlier, but it wasn't enough. I got up really early today. And Zohan Mamdani wants everyone to boycott Starbucks, so that means we've all got to drink as much Starbucks as we can. All right, so if you have any thoughts on this, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're watching. 888-465-2631. President Trump posted this on Truth Social. As I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. And it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and the relationship to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care, the president writes on Truth Social. All I do care about is that Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, where we are winning big, our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment into America, our record, the rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again. That's our great president, Donald Trump. Doesn't he make you proud? Yeah. And I imagine most people out there who thought that President Trump had access to some file room somewhere with all these Epstein files, when I broke down what I said at the opening of the program here, you know I'm right. You know I am right about that. If President Trump had access to these documents, which are spread over not just Congress, but the federal court system, okay, he would release them himself. Mike, thank you. Just sent a $20 super chat. Thanks so much, Mike. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, so I'm sorry to burst your bubble, guys. And I'm going to go over this on the radio today. We'll be taking your calls. I got a lot to cover. I will do more on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Laura Loomer's dropped some big stuff on Marjorie Taylor Greene since I went to bed last night. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Oh, wow. I see. Hold on. I'm just got a text from somebody I got to return. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Right? He's put it out there for them to do it. Now, I want to remind you, you want to do your Christmas shopping at MyPillow.com. Remember, Mike Lindell and MyPillow are sponsoring the early show and a lot of the other things I've been doing. You guys have really been making me look good with Mike Lindell and MyPillow, using my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate that. Please keep doing that. Make sure you do your Christmas shopping there. There's plenty of time, great deals with my promo code Kane. And you continue to do that after the first of the year. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it a permanent arrangement for the early show. All right? All right, let me take a call or two before the radio show begins. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling all the way from Australia. My name is Jack.
Jack from Australia. What say you in the land down under?
Correct.
What's up, Jack?
Correct. Hey, look, I just want to say Trump is doing a tremendous job supporting America. First and foremost, I'm MAGA. I believe in MAGA. I believe in the Republicans, always have. The second thing I want to say is that the world needs Trump more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Make Australia great again, too, right? We want to make Australia great again as well.
Hey, exactly right. If you saw that on your feed, on your live stream yesterday, you would know who Jack is.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, great. Look, the reason why I'm calling is simply because, look, I agree with you. In terms of the Epstein files, I think they should be releasing them pretty damn quickly if they do have them. But as you and I both know in the legal system, if they have the evidence, why not just release it so the public can make up their mind?
Well, what I was talking about is President Trump and Pam Bondi don't have the ability to release anything. They're not in possession of these so-called files. They're in the possession of federal courts and the Congress. So my guess is the Congress, the Congress are a bunch of perverts. Madison Cawthorn was talking about the congressional sex clubs. So they're a bunch of compromised perverts, and they don't want to release the files, maybe because, well, some of them and some of their friends are in them. I don't know. If Trump could release them, he would.
Well, I think he should. I think it's beneficial. I mean, at the end of the day,
he doesn't have the authority. President Trump doesn't have the authority or access to these Epstein documents. They're being held by federal judges and the Congress. President Trump doesn't have these documents or the authority to force these people to release them.
And this is why I like America. This is why I like what the American people do, is that if the American people do not agree to something, you have the right to be able to speak up. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the key issues that we have here in Australia. Australian people do not have the right to be able to speak up on key topics. They get arrested, they get shut down.
Really?
And that's why it's extremely, 100%. Even in the UK, over in the UK, people get shut down and arrested and get sent into the legal system.
Oh, that's too bad.
One of the key reasons why I'm speaking up to the American people. And that's why I want the American people to be reminded every single day, keep fighting for your rights and keep fighting for your freedoms, because you're one of the last countries, you are truly one of the last countries in the world that has the ability to fight for, such as the Jeffrey Epstein file.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do exist, the general public have the right to know whether or not the people that are representing them in position of power are truly who they say they are. And if they do not represent the American public, they should not be in the position of power that they are in.
Correct.
And what America does, Craig, the world follows.
Yeah.
And this is why it's extremely important that if Trump does have some form of knowledge of his files, or if other members of Congress, remember, the Congress represents the American people and the world follows America. If we want peace in the world, we need to go out there and say, hey, and this is why I'm calling from Australia, that's why I'm saying, hey, can we just move on from the Epstein stuff? Let's just release the files.
Yeah.
And let's focus on one of the key topics, right? The key topic that Trump wants, Mr. President Trump wants, is world peace. He doesn't want war. He's ended 8 wars out of 9 wars, which is probably something that the American press don't talk about.
Well, listen, I'm up against the clock, so I have to move on, but I'll give you the last word. We got 10 seconds.
Sure. All right, my last word is this. America, please keep fighting for your freedom. Do not give up. Do not let those who do not have the ability to speak up. I don't have the ability to speak up here in Australia, but you do in America.
That's right.
Please treasure your rights and freedoms and keep supporting Trump, because Trump is for world peace and not for world war.
All right. Take care from Australia. Take care. That's Jack in Australia. Okay. We have less than a minute and the radio show begins. So I got to open up the radio show. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian. We're going to be live in 30 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by, because I got to open up the show and let everybody that's just joining us on the radio know what we're talking about. And if you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat. Just got a call from Australia. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right, stand by, guys. Let's see. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It is Monday already. Can you believe it? November 17th, 2025. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Callers on hold, stand by. This was one big scandalous news weekend, and we're going to start this week with something that is going to be a shock to the system of many of you in this listening audience. I'm going to go through all the details of this as the show goes on, but I'm going to give you some information right here in the beginning of the program. I'll get into all of the Marjorie Taylor Greene things. I did 4 podcasts over the weekend, really more, at least 4 podcast on the Marjorie Taylor Greene situation. And Saturday night, I had as a special exclusive guest, Laura Loomer, join me on my podcast over the weekend. We'll cover all this stuff. And the president, when I went to bed a little early last night, Sunday night, I like to go to bed early. I woke up and the president broke some news last night. He landed at Joint Base Andrews on Air Force One. He got off of Air Force One, had a bit of a press conference, which I'll play some of as the show goes on. And he called on Congress to release all of the Epstein files. And he also posted on Truth Social a rather long Truth Social post, which I'll go through in a little bit. So we're going to cover all this stuff today. And before I go back to the phones, because the pre-show, I've already taken calls. I just had an interesting call from a MAGA man in Australia, strong supporter of the president, who wants to make Australia great again. He's Australian MAGA, and we had a great conversation about this. But I'm gonna share something with you trolls and haters and never Trumpers and whatever anybody who's not on the MAGA train, which at this point includes Marjorie Taylor Greene, as crazy as that sounds, but it's true. In fact, the president excommunicated Marjorie Taylor Greene over the weekend from the MAGA movement. Is this the first excommunication of someone from the MAGA movement by the president? I think it may be. Called her a traitor, Marjorie Traitor Greene. We'll get to that in a bit. But anyway, this is what's going to be a shock to the system of the never Trumpers, the trolls, and all of these lunatics that aren't on the Trump train. President Trump last night called on Congress to take a vote and release all of the Epstein files. Now, here's the part that you're not going to want to hear, but it's very, very true. The President of the United States, Donald John Trump, and his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, neither of them have in their possession or access to the Epstein files, and they have no authority to release any of these documents. And what's happened with the Epstein files, in quotation marks, the Epstein files, a lot of it it's this mythical thing, right? It's like a legend, a mythical thing, and people believe that there's some room somewhere under lock and key that you have to get through a safe and all this security, and you get into this vault. And you're in a file room inside this vault, and it has all these Epstein files. The Epstein files, as you have created them in your mind, do not exist. There are no Epstein files in the form that you've hallucinated. This is what does exist, okay? There are federal judges who, through their court system, through various criminal and civil cases, do have Epstein documents. with sworn testimony and depositions and evidence entered into the record in their courtroom. That's correct. And these federal judges, Democrats all, have refused to release the Epstein documents that they have in their courtrooms. In fact, a couple months back, Attorney General Pam Bondi went to the federal judge and wouldn't release them, remember? There's also a boatload of documents in the Congress through congressional hearings, investigations, testimonies, the list goes on. These are in the possession of Congress. At the executive branch, which the president oversees, at the White House, there are no documents or files involving Epstein at the White House under the president's authority. All of these Epstein documents are scattered around a lot of different places, none of which President Trump has authority over. Now, if you know how presidential powers work better than I do, you can explain this to me. What authority could the president go to these federal judges and force them to release these documents or even gain possession of them from these federal judges? How would the president do that? He has no authority over these federal judges to take these depositions, testimonies, and evidence and transcripts from their courts and release them. He doesn't have the documents from these federal judges, and he doesn't have the authority to take them from them. Same goes for Congress. Congress has all these documents from investigations, testimonies, hearings. How can the president get these documents from Congress and make them available? He has no means or authority to do so. The Congress, like the judges, has refused. In fact, they had a vote last week where the Democrats stopped the release of documents. So why is everybody putting this on Trump all the time? He has no documents in his possession or under his authority for Epstein. None. And he has no authority to compel those who have these documents, the judges in the Congress, to release them. I got to sneeze, guys. Thank you for the bless yous. This weather change in Florida is making me sneeze a lot, guys. I apologize. He has no, the president does not possess any of these documents. He does not have access to any of these documents, and he has no authority over the federal judges or the Congress to seize these documents. Now, if you know how he does that I'm missing, is he supposed to take the Army and the Marine Corps over to the Capitol and get them? I didn't think you guys, I thought that was what you guys called an insurrection. So the president has called on the Congress to take a vote and release all of the Epstein documents. He wrote this on Truth Social. As I said this is the president's Truth Social post. Call is on hold, stand by, and if you'd like to call in with thoughts on this, please do. The number is 888-465-2631. The president's Truth Social post reads, as I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files. There you go. Because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and their relationship to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. That part's in all caps. That's right. I do care about is that Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, where we are winning big. Our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment in America, a record. The rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again. That is our president. There he is, and there you have it. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by. After the break, I will go to the calls. I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. Our number is 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You know, Laporta Roofing was voted the best roofing company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You know, I imagine being in Hurricane Alley and all, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, probably has more roofers and roofing companies per capita for a city its size than any place else in the country. To be voted the best roofing company in Hurricane Alley, where there's a roofer every 6 feet, that really says a lot about how great Tom Laporta and Laporta Roofing are. I'll tell you, I've been to job sites of Tom Laporta's at Laporta Roofing, and I've seen his work. And of course, they're roofers and a roofing company, but calling them roofers really does them a disservice because Tom Laporta and his team are a lot more than roofers. They're artisans. The work they do just will blow your mind away. This is, when I say artisans, I mean it. You don't have a lot of artisans in our society today, but you do with Laporta Roofing. Whether you're on the east or west coast of Florida and anywhere in between, and you need roofing repair or replacement, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing is your man. He's a good MAGA man. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need, meaning if you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. He can handle the job of any size, whether it's one home or an HOA with over 450 units. He can handle it. He works with every type of roofing material as well as on every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, even church roofs and anything else that I've left out there. You know, if it's a structure that has a roof, Tom Laporta can handle it. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602. You could call or text. This rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll take a quick break. There's one opening on the board at 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back. We'll be back shortly, guys. If you're watching with the green wall behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can see and hear all the audio and the visuals and everything I show. The link is in the description. There's one opening. Someone hung up, someone called. So if you want to call in, the number's in the live stream. All right. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, guys. Stand by. I will go to the call. I'm going to wait until we get back on the radio to take the calls. But here's the president talking about what's being, every line on the board's lit, talking about the Epstein distraction when he got off Air Force One. Exactly. I mean, he's just doing a great job. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back, which will be in less than a minute. All right. So I'm going to do my best to take these in the order in which they were received. All right. Got to get them. Okay. We'll be back in less than a minute. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This obviously is where MAGA comes to talk. These are some tough truths for the never Trumpers, I understand, but deal with it. We got about 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I just told the Never Trumpers there's no Santa Claus or Easter Bunny, and I know this is coming as a shock to many of them, but yeah. So I'm going to go to the phones. There's one opening on our board at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Lisa. I am calling from Texas.
Hey, Texas, what's on your mind?
Well, I am really not for releasing the tapes. And I tell you, with the holiday coming up, and I know there's going to be a discussion at the Thanksgiving table, and I want to have a discussion with you about why are these tapes so important, because all they're going to do is make us complain some more, because the DOJ...
Well, tapes, I haven't heard anybody say tapes, they say files. But this is what I would tell you, okay? I think when these things get released, it'll be like the JFK files and the MLK files that President Trump released this year. It's going to be a whole lot of nothing. But President Trump has called for them all to be released. He's calling on the Republicans in Congress to take an immediate vote to release them. I am I am with our president. Release the Epstein files. The president has called on the Republicans, we control the Congress, to take a vote and release all of their Epstein documents, whatever they are. So release them. And what the president has done is called their bluff.
Right. Because I don't even really think there are like that many and that horrible, because I think it was all a big scam. Probably
most of it is people talking about it, as opposed to like documents that are evidence. You know what I mean? But we don't know. The president's
Right.
called for them all to be released. Release the
Right.
Epstein files. The president's calling on it. Do it.
Do it. And now they said, I heard this weekend that he killed himself before being exonerated. So that means this stuff was going to prove he wasn't guilty?
I don't know what that means, what you just said.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what the rumor was this weekend.
Rumor. Well, a rumor is not some influencer making crap up and then saying it. Okay, that's not a rumor. That's just somebody making crap up.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for the Thanksgiving table now. Thank you.
Absolutely. So am I. I can't wait. I love Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. My wife and you know what we do? We don't cook Thanksgiving dinner anymore. You know what we do? We get takeout from Cracker Barrel. And I'm glad that Cracker Barrel corrected their mistakes a few months ago so we could do that this year. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. My name is Rick, calling from Virginia.
Hey, Virginia. What's up, Rick?
Hey, not too much. I just wanted to weigh in a little bit on the Epstein files situation and the announcement from Donald Trump, President Trump.
Yep.
I'm a little bit concerned that I hope that this is real. I know for a while President Trump was against releasing the files and wanted to pass over it. And now we're hearing about it, and I know that they're announcing that he doesn't have the power. I guess I'm a little bit concerned. Could this possibly be like a political stunt? Because this is something that a lot of people
President Trump has called their bluff. Release the files. And one thing we know about President Trump, he never lies to us, and he's a plain speaker. He says what he means and means what he says. He called on the Republicans to take a vote and release all documents involving Epstein from the Congress, all of them.
Okay, and I really hope that's the case because I am a Trump supporter myself.
He said it outside Air Force One last night, and then he made a big post on Truth Social about it.
What do you think the likelihood is that maybe this will go through and actually will be released if this is out of his power?
They're going to be well, it depends on the public, because they're going to be embarrassed into it. Maybe they're going to be embarrassed into it.
Right.
I mean, there's some of these people in Congress are scumbuckets and may be embarrassed by content, or their friends might be embarrassed, or donors. But there's enough people that have come to Congress since in the post-Epstein era that don't have those problems. And if they continue to put pressure on them, they're going to be embarrassed into doing it. Look, they had that one Democrat congressman on the airplane watching porn the other day. These are scumbags in Congress. They're perverts and scumbags.
I'm with you there, Brian. Well, hey, that's all I really had, but thank you so much. I'm a fan of your show, and I'm going to keep watching you, but thank you so much for what you do.
All right, take care. Yeah, it is Monday. It is so chilly in South Florida. Let me take one more call before we break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Paula from New Jersey.
Hold on, Paula. Let me answer these lines coming in. All right, Paula, go ahead. Paula in Jersey. What's on your mind?
Hey, yes. I just want to say that President Trump told us many times before the election that he would release the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that we're dumb and we don't understand how things work. It's that we were led to believe that he would release them.
Well, I think he doesn't, but, there's a difference when you're not the president and when you are the president. Now, when he got back in office, he realized that he has no files that are within his reach or authority, that the files are in the possession of federal judges and the Congress. He cannot, so he didn't know that until he came back into his second term. And he has no way, he doesn't even possess these documents at the White House. So how can he release things he doesn't have?
Well, I don't know why he would tell us that.
I just answered your question. He did not know, that. When he became president again and he had access to all of the information, he realized that they're not in the possession of the president or under the president's authority. He did not know until he was in office again.
Right. But, why doesn't he come out and just tell us?
He has.
This is what I thought. No, why hasn't he come out and explained? It wasn't that long ago that he was kind of laughing at us for wanting the Epstein files to be released when he said, "Oh, are we still talking about that?" Like, obviously something is going on.
Well, just because he can't, listen. When this was going on, a couple of the documents in question are in the possession, for the most part, of two groups of people: the Congress and various federal judges. All the judges are Democrat judges. Okay, Pam Bondi went to the federal courts at the president's order to get the federal judges to release the documents. They would not do it. President Trump knows some of what's in these documents, but they're under federal seal in these federal courts. To reveal anything you know about them would be a felony. Okay, so if he knows anything, he can't tell us. But what he does know is that it's a big nothing burger, to quote Van Jones.
But he did. Okay, but he did say that he would even look at.
How many times am I going to answer the same question? Okay. Before he was in office again, he did not know the things that we're talking about now. When he became president again, he gets privy to all the information, and this is when he found that the federal courts and the Congress have all these documents and are holding them up, that the president doesn't have access or the authority to release them. How does the president make a federal judge or the Congress release these documents? How does he do that?
Well, no, I hear the problem now. I just wish he had been.
Well, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
No, he doesn't have to. Right, I understand, but he could say things like, "Hey, look, this is out of my jurisdiction. I'll do what I can, and I'll let you know when I'm doing it."
That's what he's saying. Last night he put on True Social and at Air Force One. He has called for the Republicans in Congress to take an immediate vote and release all of the Epstein documents. He sent Pam Bondi to the federal judges to release the documents they have in their courts. They wouldn't do it. He's done everything. He's bent over backwards over this.
Okay, I hear you. I just wish that he had done this earlier.
I wish. Well, he's doing it now.
Right, but that comment really bothered me. Like there was something that was
get over it. Get over it. He's doing it now.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. My goodness. Now, it's a chilly morning. And, before Dr. Appleton rid me of my knee pain, this chilly time of year was torture for me. I don't know why that is. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how these things work. But, I had over 30 years of pain and suffering in my right knee, which Dr. Appleton rid me of completely 100% over 3 years ago after just 2 treatments with his robotic laser away pain treatment. And there were certain times of the year when the pain was the worst. One, during rainy season, right? And we would get a lot of rains. And then during these cold days, like now. Now, this is the Florida winter, 62 degrees when I left my house to get coffee this morning. But that's freezing. This time of year, my knee was just in so much pain, but no more. Not only did Dr. Appleton rid me of pain 7 times, all of the times he relieved me of pain, my knee was from a car accident many years ago. My shoulder injuries were from various falls and accidents on my skateboard. The arthritis in my hand was from hitting the dump button all these years. That is not a joke. The dump button in every studio I've ever worked at has been on my right side. I'm right-handed. And pushing that dump button all these years gave me arthritis. All these pains, including the arthritis, gone. And the first time he rid me of pain was over 3 years ago. None of the pains have returned because Dr. Appleton in his robotic laser away pain treatment actually repaired the damage in the body that's causing the pain. I was at Friendly Tire in Margate on Saturday, and I ran into a listener. He was getting new tires. And he was telling me that he had massive lower back pain gone thanks to Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton is a miracle worker. Give him a call. Remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. 954, no drugs. That's right, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. It's 100% painless. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. The consultation is free, so take advantage of the no-charge consultation and say bye-bye to your pain. Let Dr. Appleton tell you what he can do to rid you of pain like he's done with me 7 times. 954-973-0710. We'll be right back. I mean, I don't know how many times I could tell that lady he didn't know everything until he came back into the White House. They weren't giving him proper briefings, especially on this kind of stuff. While we're in break, let me go through some of this. This is the president's presser. This is as he got off of Air Force One in Washington last night. I love it. This is great. Calls him out. Rand Paul Jr. Oh, Marjorie Trader Green. That's right. Yep. I like that. Sounds good. Coming back. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, and we're covering quite a bit. The president is calling on the Republicans in Congress to vote immediately and release the Epstein files. So the president has called everyone's bluff. It's time. All right, it's time to do it. Let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, fella? I don't know if I missed it. I don't listen all the time. I'm wondering, there's 2020 election fraud news going on.
No, there's not. All right, take care. I think you haven't listened in like 5 years. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
These Democrats and these never-Trumpers, they don't get it. And Trump knows this. If they release these papers, he's going to be exonerated just as much as he was with the Mueller report and the rest of this stuff that came out. The amount of exoneration that's going to that would take place. They want the issue. So these papers in Congress, they're not going to be. The Democrats are not going to allow them to be released.
Well, there's a panic going on. There's a panic going on. In fact, the Democrats have come out with their talking points on this. Let me pull this up. Cat Turd dropped this on X. You guys everybody knows Cat Turd, right? He's one of the big conservative influencers out there. And he's actually released this. Okay, here it is. These are the Democrat talking points, okay? And they're in a panic because he's called their bluff. So what are they going to do? Here they are, according to Cat Turd. These are the talking points that the never-Trumpers and the Democrats are going to start hearing today since the president's called their bluff. Trump and Pam Bondi have altered the Epstein files. That's one of them. A second one is why didn't he do this sooner? Okay. So they know that, and then Cat Turd wrote, every left-wing account has already tweeted Trump and Pam Bondi have altered the Epstein files. So how can they alter what they don't have access to? It's in the possession of federal courts and the Congress. But that's their talking point, that Pam Bondi and President Trump have altered the document. How did they get into Congress and alter these documents? Oh, we lost Mike.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I thought we lost you, Mike. You went. Yeah, I got you. We lost you there.
How did I do this? And look, as far as these federal judges are concerned, it all depends on who the federal judge is.
They're all Democrats. They're all Democrats. All of the judges are Democrats.
Yep. If it was somebody like Judge Cannon, the MAGA judge, then it would be out there, right?
That's right. And for those of you that are talking about, well, Pam Bondi said she had some documents on her desk. Those documents involve federal court cases. She went to the federal judges involved with the documents she had on her desk to get a permission to release them, and the federal judges ordered Pam Bondi not to release them. So what is she supposed to do? Commit a felony?
Right.
Is that what they want? I appreciate the call, Mike. I'm sure you'd like Pam Bondi to go out and commit a felony, but she's not doing it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Pompano.
Oh, hey, Ben. Hold on. Let me answer all these lines. My phones are ringing. We got a lot of these never-Trumpers that are panicked right now since President Trump's calling on Congress to release the Epstein files.
I know. It's been a real revealing weekend, and if anything
yes.
Trump is a master at, he's a master at making people take their masks off and reveal their true colors. I would love it. I know you haven't gotten there yet, but can I talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Absolutely. I'm going to get to all of that, too, but yes.
Okay. First off, I don't remember Marjorie Taylor Greene taking a bullet for this country. I do remember her going to D.C., getting obsessed with a celebrity and intoxicated with it, cheating on her husband, cheating on the person she cheated on her husband with, riding Trump's coattails, getting so absorbed with the attention she's getting and now thinking she's bigger than Trump, the very person who made her. And she has been going on a media circuit tour the entire year, bashing him on The View. They asked her, what do you think of all the problems besetting the country? Her response wasn't to defend Trump. Her response was to simply say, I'm America first, which is implying that Trump isn't America first. And if she was in charge, she'd be America first.
Yes.
That's what she is essentially saying. She is a true Machiavellian, two-faced traitor. All she does is go where she thinks the political winds are blowing for her own personal gain.
That's right.
Trump has made so many sacrifices. Trump faced 700 years in jail for us. He faced 2 assassins, a third if you want to call it.
He still has over 30 felony convictions.
Yeah, right. This guy gave up everything. Everything. What did she do? She not only did not give up anything, she gained everything. What is she worth? $24 million now after being a nobody? Now she's a celebrity doing more. What bills has she passed? She's all about the theater. Trump is in there working 16-hour days, flying out to Alaska to negotiate with Russia and flying back all within the same day and still giving a press gaggle for like hours at a time. We need more than ever to call out these rhinos, these fake coattail riding, self-obsessed celebrities like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's a fake Christian, by the way. That woman is she has committed every sin under the book. So I am just, once again, standing firmly and proudly saying, I stand with President Trump, and, we really have to cut the wheat from the chaff, now that we're getting into the midterms and seeing who's real MAGA and who isn't.
The only good thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene is she pulled this stunt now and not next year. So by the time the midterms come around, she's going to be washed up and forgotten. She might not even be in the race because she might be primaried out by the president.
It's going to be very funny to see how she walks us back because she knows she stepped in it. She knows she thought she was untouchable. That's the funny thing about it. The way she was, gallivanting around because she had Trump's. Yeah, right. And what she didn't realize is the only reason she was inflated to the degree that she was is because Trump was blowing up her balloon. The second he pulls his support from her, she's a nobody.
That's
she's
right.
Nothing. And
Correct.
it's just funny seeing her flail around. We're seeing people like her, Alex Jones. He was panicking when he went
Listen,
after
I'm very late for the break. I gotta run,
Sure.
but everything you said is right, and I'm going to get very.
No problem.
I did 4 podcasts over the weekend on Marjorie Taylor Greene. In fact, on Saturday night, I had Laura Loomer on with me going over it, and
That's big. Yeah.
She was. I texted her during the podcast.
She's a leader right now. She's a leader right now.
She works for the president.
What's going on?
And I texted her live during the podcast. I was talking to a caller, and I said, well, her phone's probably blowing up right now with this story, and she's probably getting calls from the president and Susie Wiles. I'm not sure she's going to get back to me right away. She got back to me in less than 10 minutes, and she was at dinner with some. She didn't tell me who she was at dinner with, but she said with some people. So they must have been important. And she said, I'll step away from the table and go outside. And, and she really went, she broke down everything with Marjorie Taylor Greene, why she's doing this. And she's been betraying Donald Trump for years. We just didn't know it. So if you guys check that. All right.
Loomer's been right about everything. Yeah,
Always.
Yeah. Good for you. That's a great friend you got there.
All right. Take care. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. Steve Kane Show. Oh, man. You see the stories of the news of the New Yorkers and all the Northerners coming down here to buy what you have. That's your house and your condo. You want to call George Connolly. George Connolly will take care of you guys. If you're looking to move to Florida, he'll help you. If you're looking to list your property, he'll help you. If you want to find out what the value of your home is, he'll do that for you. If you're looking to sell and buy and stay in South Florida, he can help you with that too. Those of you that are condo owners, condos have been getting a bad rap in the real estate market in the past year or so, right? With everything that's happened. Not anymore. Those impossible and hard to sell condos that you were worried about, they're valuable now. Call George Connolly, all right? The New Yorkers are coming. And Florida buyers are buying too. Give him a call. This number rings directly to George Connolly's cell phone. We met George through Tom Laporta. So you got a double endorsement there. He's a good guy. You've heard him on the show a couple of times, too. He was on the show Thursday. He really knows real estate. Here's his number, 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. Call or text George Colony, 954-801-7320. We'll be right back. All right, and I'm going to play more of the president. This was his press conference when he got off Air Force One. If you're on hold, stand by. We're on a radio station break, but I want to hear the rest of it. He's going to talk about Tucker and Nick Fuentes in a moment. I love this. It's a great press conference. That's right. Okay, we're coming back. If you're on hold, stand by. All right, we're back. Callers on hold, you stand by. My name is Brian Craig. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. I'm a bit behind on our break schedule, guys. I will, while this will be a short segment till the top, in the next hour, I'm going to do my best not to take all of the breaks on time. So when we get backed up on breaks, it's all my fault. I take calls when I shouldn't. I'm looking at the clock, and it's time. I'm approaching a break, and I take a call, and then it happens to be a great call. So I want to keep the conversation going, and I mess everything up. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Rich.
Hey, Richie. Oh, man, what a great weekend of news, man.
Yeah, the whole thing is a great weekend, but here's the thing that I'm thinking. I feel sorry for President Trump because of the dishonest press, and because of the uneducated, uninformed, Democratic, I hate Trump no matter what he does, people. So the only ones that stand up for Trump is Trump and his administration. And then this damn news tries to discredit him, saying they're all in line with him because they're afraid of him because he's like a big dictator. You know, it's so sickening already. They've tried to turn the whole country against him. First they try to throw him out, they try to kill him, and now they're trying to turn the whole country against him. When policies are good policies and they're twisting everything. When he gets up there and he's attacking these reporters for a reason. He's frustrated, man. I mean, you know who they had on this week and this week with Stephanopoulos? You know who they had on there? Chris Murphy, who attacked Trump for 15 minutes. Yeah. And then they put on, guess who the Republican was? Massey, who attacked Trump for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And on the other
and by the way, hold on, Richie. I got to answer. All my lines are just blowing up. And, you know, Massey's one of the biggest scumbags I've ever in Congress, and that's saying a lot.
100%.
You know, he was married for 31 years. His wife of 31 years died. 16 months later, he remarries, and the woman was a friend of his late wife. That to me is adultery. That's too soon, especially with a friend. He's a scummy person, Massey, and he's passing moral judgment on our favorite president. What a scummy man he is.
Yeah, I know. But it's very frustrating for me to watch this crap every weekend, no matter what you do. He's up against it because when he goes and tells the truth, they say he's lying, and then they put their propaganda out there for everyone to consume.
You should be watching me on the weekends with I did 4 or 5 podcasts over the weekend.
Listen, you're one of the only programs. You're one of the only programs. Listen, not for nothing. But without the internet, we'd be in big trouble because the mainstream media is terrible. Yeah. I mean, you guys do your research and you tell the truth. The other thing I want to say to you, and I want to change your subject real quick, that your favorite coffee company is threatening to leave New York City, and if they do that, they will. There's so many, over 1,000 in New York City. They will take their money, their taxes, and everything else with this mayor. Because they say that they're not going to pay people $30 an hour, like what he wants to do. I mean, he's going to put all these people out of work. And you know where there's a Starbucks, it does also other businesses.
Yeah, you know, Starbucks, Mom Donnie, and by the way, Charlie Kirk's last drink was a Starbucks tea, right? And it was his favorite. It was he was a regular Starbucks customer because of all the speaking. He liked the tea. The tea doesn't have enough caffeine in it for me, so I go for the coffee. But Charlie Kirk's last drink was a Starbucks drink. But Mom Donnie called for a boycott of Starbucks. So because of
they're going to move out of
this strike. And let me tell you, I've got a Starbucks that I go to that I don't disclose. These guys, they are so good there. They make the best coffee. They're cool. They know I come in every day. They're making the coffee before I get there, right? And I don't even have to wait. But a lot of these Starbucks workers, they don't like to work, and they did something to weed a bunch of them out. They brought in a dress code, and that's this strike really is caused over the dress code, and all the dress code is, you can wear casual clothes still, but they have to be a certain color. And wear an apron, and that's what the strike is about. Mom Donnie's first act as mayor is to put a big business out of business in New York.
But
he's calling for a nationwide boycott.
Yeah. Do you realize what that'll do with the other businesses? There's a direct, in other words, it'll affect every guy that's around a Starbucks store, because Starbucks is a drawer. It's like in a mall.
Well, there are a lot of people like me, I don't even like coffee, but I'm an addict to the espresso over there. But getting back on topic though, because we're approaching the top. President Trump has called their bluff. He has called on Congress to vote immediately to release all of the Epstein files, and that's it. The ball's in their court now.
Well, he covered himself. President Trump. I believe that he's protecting people that they're going to be very embarrassed, and at this point, I'm sure these people that he's been protecting are going to say, "Oh, you did the best you can." So he doesn't have any guilt. He's
all right, Richie, I got to run for the top, but I appreciate the call. All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we'll be back shortly. I'll take a call while we're still in break on the radio, but we're live here on YouTube. Let's take a call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Kentucky, Brian.
Hey, Kentucky. What's on your mind?
Well, I just want to try to explain to your listeners. I just started listening myself about 3 months ago. I want to try to explain to them what this is with illegals coming into this country. In 1983, I was working in the masonry business as a bricklayer. They come in here in 83, and they started doing the work for half the cost.
Hold on a second. I got a big topic on the table today. That's important. We talk about that a lot, but that's not the topic today. We're talking about the president and Marjorie Taylor Greene and President Trump and the Epstein issue today.
The country would not be in the shape it's in if we didn't have the legals here. We don't do electric no more. We don't do plumbing no more.
That's true. I mean, I can't tell you the last. You know what? It has been years since I've seen an ad on television for a vocational school to become an electrician, a plumber, an AC repairman, or a truck driver. It's been a long time.
You're not going to.
Yeah.
You're not going to. In 2001, I went to Homerama here in Kentucky. I thought that the electricians and the plumbers had to be licensed, and they would never be doing that. Well, guess what? Not just a licensed plumber, electrician. The builders were licensed. They were building the homes.
Yeah,
we're screwed. You can't work anymore. You can't have a trade. You can't be a bricklayer, framer, or
I'm going to tell you.
I
here in South Florida, I went to Lowe's the other day. I had to buy some stuff. Went there a couple times. Had to buy some things, and it was a ghost town. And I know because the illegal laborers have fled job sites. And also here in Florida, you know, we have lawn crews mowing our lawns year round, right? It's a year-round lawn place, South Florida. And there's hardly any lawn crews anymore because the illegals have fled or been deported. And the only crews around now are the Americans, and there's not that many of them. So I have seen the impact of President Trump's immigration policies in this second term all over the place.
Well, it's just the housing. It's housing. And look what they've done to our vets. Look at the homeless. The reason we have homeless and our vets are laying on the streets is because now their apartments are empty. Now they're running ads. Open apartment.
Yes.
Starting at $900 for one bedroom, roach-infested piece of shit for $900.
Hey, listen, I got to run. We're coming back, but appreciate the call. I'm glad I took him during the break. Well, I guess we didn't have to dump him, Mike. I don't know if you're, But we'll be back in about 30 seconds. But everything he said is true. But have you noticed that in your community, that you're not seeing the illegals in the numbers you used to? I have. All right, we're going to be back in just a few seconds. Let me look at the time exactly. Okay, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Callers on hold, stand by. Just to recap, President Trump has called the bluff of everyone. President Trump has called on Congress to vote immediately to release all of the Epstein files. What a beautiful thing. He's called their bluff, and they are panicking. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
I'm telling you, this Marjorie Taylor Greene, what a disappointment to me, man. I always thought she was the #1 MAGA person in Congress.
Yeah.
And for her, I think she must have had a PMS attack or something, because it wasn't like her to say something that she said was not necessary. I mean, she wants to have him decrease the prices in the stores. He's working on that. She knows that. I mean, one of the ways he's working on it is with the tariffs. By having Americans, companies make more money, they can pay their people more money. Plus, we're going to get a $2,000 check. So that's going to take care of it.
In a few minutes, I'm going to go over a story that broke about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been renamed by the president. He calls her Marjorie Traitor Greene. She's a traitor. And over the weekend, he excommunicated her from the MAGA movement. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I got to get used to saying Marjorie Traitor Greene. But Marjorie Traitor Greene, MTG, she is no longer MAGA. The president has taken her MAGA card away. And we find out that her stock picks are equal to the success rate of the stock picks of Paul Pelosi. So I think we know the root cause of her issues.
She apologized somewhat, but it wasn't a very good apology.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
She went on CNN's Dana Bash and apologized to the CNN audience for the MAGA rhetoric and for the president, and accused President Trump of endangering her life. No, she didn't apologize. She was apologizing to liberals and never Trumpers.
Yeah, I said I heard her say she started toxic politics, but that wasn't a very good apology. She should have said, I made a mistake, but whatever she should have said, she should have said.
She's quadrupled down. She's quadrupled down.
Man, she's really. I don't know why. Maybe the president wasn't talking to her or something. For some reason.
Since 2021, she has made $25 million on stock trade. I'll pull this one up now. I was going to get into this later on the program. Marjorie Taylor Greene is up 142% in stocks she bought days before ICE awarded a company a massive contract. Let me go through this story. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, man. And I got to run for Congress.
Oh, well, you want to be a crook? I'm going to let you go, Doug, and I'm going to read through this story, okay? So thanks for the call. Let me pull this story up, and I'll read through it. This is what it's about with Marjorie Traitor Greene. This is the Independent out of the United Kingdom. Marjorie Taylor Greene is up 142% in stocks she bought days before ICE awarded company massive contract. Listen, now that's the headline, right? Let me pull up the story. Marjorie Taylor Greene has seen her stock in Palantir Technologies surge 142% since she invested in April, just days before Immigration and Customs Enforcement handed the company a $30 million contract. Marjorie Traitor Greene is a member of the House Homeland Security Committee, which oversees ICE. And since her investment on April 8th, the stock has rocketed. Research platform Quiver Quantitative, which tracks politicians' investments, noted Marjorie Trader Greene bought stock in Palantir on April 8th, the platform said on X. We reported on this right away because Marjorie Trader Greene sits on the House Committee on Homeland Security. The stock has now risen 142% since her purchase. See, this is what Paul Pelosi's doing, right? She's on the committee that oversees ICE. She buys stock in this company. ICE makes a deal with this company. The stock goes up to the moon. On April 11th, the artificial intelligence software company was awarded a contract by ICE to support the Trump administration's immigration agenda, including designing a system to track self-deportation and identify individuals for deportation. Marjorie Trader Greene has previously shrugged off criticisms as laughable and said her financial advisor controls her investments. So this is Paul Pelosi action here. So now I think we've got an idea of what's going on with Marjorie Trader Greene. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, you gave up. The rest of you on hold, stand by. I want to do a recap for people that are just tuning in. Last week, the Democrats dropped a couple of documents that had Epstein's name on them to try to distract from Trump's victory against the. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene's pretty bad. She's bad news in the shutdown, and President Trump got off Air Force One at Andrews last night, and he also posted on True Social. He's calling on Congress, the Republicans in Congress, we control both houses, to vote immediately to release all Epstein documents that they have. President Trump and Pam Bondi do not have Epstein documents. They cannot release anything. They're not under their authority. Okay? There are a couple of different groups that have the so-called Epstein files. There is no Epstein files as has been promoted and dreamed about by the Never Trumpers, okay? The Never Trumpers believe that there's some file somewhere, some file cabinet, or some computer somewhere that contains all these Epstein files. That is an urban legend. It is a myth. There are documents and files, but they're in different groups. One is the Congress. The Congress has documents from congressional hearings and congressional investigations. That's what President Trump is calling them on the vote to release. The other documents are in the possession or under the authority of various federal judges through criminal and civil cases in their courtrooms. Pam Bondi said a few months ago that she had some Epstein files on her desk. Those files, those documents were part of federal court cases. She went to the federal judges. By the way, there's about 4 of them. They're all Democrat judges. Pam Bondi went to these federal judges and asked them to release the files from their court. They would not do it. These are witness interviews, evidence, sworn testimony, depositions, whatever it is. The federal judges refused Pam Bondi's motion to unseal these documents. President Trump has access to 0 Epstein documents. Pam Bondi has been ordered by federal judges not to make public or release anything that she has. So President Trump and President Trump sent Pam Bondi to the federal courts to get the documents released. The federal court said no. So President Trump's tired of it. He's tired of it, and he's gone to them. He got off the plane, and he said to Congress, take the vote, release all the Epstein documents you have. Do it now. So he's called their bluff. The ball is in their court. Now, on Saturday, I was over at Friendly Tire. I mentioned earlier, I ran into a guy who was telling me how his suffering of back pain is gone thanks to Dr. Appleton. Oh, man, that was amazing to hear. And he was also buying new tires. You know, at Friendly Tire in Margate, Friendly Mike has thousands of good used tires in stock at great prices, okay? So you can call about those too. And his new tires, you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And by the way, Those are tires that are common sizes that are on some of the most common vehicles on the road today. Brand new, out the door and on the road, okay? These are not little tiny go-kart tires that you find on a Fiat. These are tires that are on the most popular cars on the road, all right? And when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Tire does not charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or even dispose of your old tire. And he's got to pay a guy per tire to take those tires away, and it's not cheap. I'm surprised. I thought that some guy just took them for nothing because I thought the rubber was something you could recycle. No, he pays a guy per tire. And I can't reveal how much. I haven't asked Mike. I don't think he'd want me to, but it's not cheap. So he doesn't charge. So the price he quotes you over the phone is out the door and on the road. Give Friendly Mike a call. He'll give you a quote over the phone. He's got all the name brands you know and love. If you've got run flats like I do on one of my cars, great deal on run flats. If you have a Tesla, not only can he get the best deals and lowest prices on Tesla tires, he has the tools for the job. Give him a call, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break here during the break, and we'll be right back. Right now, if you have the green screen behind me and you want to see all the audio and video I play, go to my main stream. It is linked in the chat. Georgia Bunny just became a member of the channel. Thanks, welcome. You get the special emojis with that. All right, we'll be back in about a minute, guys. And I'm going to go through some of this Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff when we get back. About 25 seconds, we'll be back. All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Okay, so over the weekend, Marjorie Taylor Greene and President Trump had a big falling out. President Trump calls her a traitor. He excommunicated her from the MAGA movement. Marjorie Taylor Greene is no longer MAGA because the president said she's not. And we found out about these stock purchases. There's more than the one I just shared. Since 2021, she's made $25 million in stock purchases. $25 million on an investment of a little over $700,000 is being reported. We're in Paul Pelosi stock success here, all right? And she ran to Dana Bash on CNN over the weekend to continue to bash Trump and our great MAGA movement. Listen to this. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, CNN. This is so disappointing because I know those of us that are MAGA, we've been behind Marjorie Taylor Greene for years. She's betrayed all of us, including the president, and our great movement. Here she is, Marjorie Taylor Greene, CNN with Dana Bash yesterday. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is like the hostage videos that Rush used to talk about, isn't it? Does it seem like one of those hostage videos? Someone has been forced to say something. That doesn't mean she gets off the hook. And, you know, I got a couple of questions. One, why has she been on television complaining that her children can't afford food or insurance when she's making literally tens of millions of dollars over the last couple of years, you know, since 2021. I'm unsure. How's that possible? But she is using liberal Democrat talking points here. So here's my question. Could she be afraid? Do they, you know, the thing is, you know, once you do something for the evildoers, they got you. Right? I remember the first season of NYPD Blue, the David Caruso season. Boy, did he screw up leaving that show, huh? That was a great show, NYPD Blue. And there was a lady cop, and she did something for a mobster. He wanted her to run a license plate. And David Caruso stopped her. He says, once you run that plate, they got you. They're going to hold that over your head. It's going to escalate. And I'm kind of wondering, is that what is going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene? All this major money that she's made with these Paul Pelosi-like stock picks. I just got a text from a friend of mine. He said, let me read this. A friend of mine sent me a text during the break. I'm not going to tell you who. You guys would know who this is, but I don't know if they want me to reveal it or not. They said, Martha Stewart should be absolutely, totally pissed off, and she probably is. This is over the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. You know, is it possible that these crooked stock deals, that the one that was reported in the Independent out of the UK from the ICE deal and all that stuff, is this what they've used to flip her to the dark side? if you're on hold, stand by. I'd like to get your thoughts on this. So let me rewind this because I want you to hear this. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene with Dana Bash on CNN yesterday. Okay, so he is President Trump. So here she is. The MAGA movement is dividing the country. They're the ones that assassinated Charlie Kirk, shot President Trump, tried to shoot him again, arrested him multiple times, got the mug shots, broke into his house. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is now sharing liberal talking points about our great MAGA movement and president that were the divisive ones. Does this sound like a hostage video to you? It does to me.
Absolutely untrue is he called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong, and those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
Okay, so now So she rattles off, she blames Trump for the divisiveness. Keep in mind, they're the ones that assassinated Charlie Kirk and shot the president and Butler. But he's the divisive one. Unbelievable. Now she goes on to claim that her life is being threatened because of President Trump. That President Trump is endangering her life.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason for this? Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking.
Okay, well, see, there she is. Back to that, another liberal. These are liberal talking point after Democrat talking point. So the president said last night, Congress, vote, release all of the Epstein files.
And, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because we're approaching a break. This is disgusting. This is 100% betrayal. I mean, this is as much of a betrayal as I've ever seen in our movement. And she's the one exploiting these women now, right? These Epstein victims. I'll play the rest of this Marjorie Taylor Greene betrayal. But first, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I mean, those of you that watch me online, you can see how much smaller I am. It's great, isn't it? I'm wearing this alligator Alcatraz t-shirt right now, and it's so much smaller than the t-shirts I used to buy. And, a cool thing that I noticed a few weeks back is when I was looking down, my stomach's completely flat. And I thought I was stuck with a bit of a belly for the rest of my life because I see all these guys that are my age, younger and older, and they all have them. And I just assume that the belly is that's part of growing older. It's not, right? Not only am I the weight I was 29 years ago when I married my wife, but my stomach is flat. I no longer have partially obstructed view when I look down. It's amazing. And my shirts fit like they're supposed to fit. Some of these shirts I wear now that fit perfectly were like girdles months ago. My results are typical. I lost 25 pounds in the first 3 weeks. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. You have plenty of time before your holiday parties and everything that's coming up. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Call us on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll free. I'd like to hear your response to all of this. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. It's 100% betrayal, isn't it?
the only one who finds it a little bit awkward that we are just now.
Okay. I guess, guy here, I got to listen to this to make sure there's no profanity to play on the radio.
Word that we are just now talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and her exponential growth of personal wealth. She's gone from being worth like $400,000 to $40 million over the period of 4 to 5 years. Does it take a fight with President Trump for us to point out these things? I don't think it should. I think regardless of their political affiliation, does it take a fight with President Trump for us to point out these things? I don't think it should. I think regardless of their
No, there's profanity.
if we suspect
Yeah,
members
so I can't play it on the radio. Hold on, guys. I'm coordinating with Mike what time to come back. If you're on hold, stand by. Okay. He's going to let me know. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. We're coordinating. Okay, we got 1 minute. Mike and I are coordinating. William, thank you for the super sticker. Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC, and Kamala will be besties. Exactly. Exactly. If you're on hold, stand by. It's really sad about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, I'm really saddened by it. It's unfortunate. Got about 40 seconds and we'll be back. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. We're in a radio station break right now. The delay between us and the radio station has been throwing us off on our timing, so we're trying to coordinate that right now. I'm going to stick with hostage video. Okay, stand by. 10 seconds-ish. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. If you just tuned in, you've missed a lot. I'm going to go right to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Welcome back, everyone. Hey, Brian. This is GR in Tampa.
Hey, Tampa, Florida. I just
wanted to address a little bit.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Chilly Tampa.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to answer these other lines. Yeah, well, and also on the coast of the Gulf of America. How lucky you are.
That's right. I love it. Gulf of America every day. Yes, sir. Well, I just wanted to chat with you about what that caller said about, President Trump addressing the issues more directly. I mean, we're heading into the midterms. He really needs to be more clear, in my opinion, and I love the guy, but he needs to be more clear about what's going on and why he does the things he does. And that's just all I wanted to say. I just think he needs, I love that you guys have shows like yours that helps him, to clarify things. But I really wish he would be more clear because obviously the mainstream media isn't covering him and the actual truth. And I think he needs to be more forthcoming about what he can and can't do.
Okay, couple things. Now, when it comes to his policies, he has these announcements in the Oval Office that turn into press conferences every time he does something. So what are you talking about? What are you saying that he's not being transparent enough about?
No, it's not that he's transparent. He needs to be a little more clear about his limitations, about the things he's facing. And I know that he does the press conferences and all of this on the plane. But when you look at the mainstream media, they're just not covering they use the snippets, right? They clip the sound bites and so forth, and it just doesn't paint him in a good light. And I don't know.
Well, there's nothing he's going to do to stop that. MSNBC, they changed to MS Now over the weekend, and I read an article. They were on the air 7 hours before they used Nazi in relation to Trump and MAGA. He's never going to get the mainstream media. What I do for the press conferences is I watch them either live from the White House feed on X or on Right Side Broadcasting. I don't watch them through the filter of the mainstream media. Like I'll give you an example. There was a big thing that President Trump did yesterday or over the weekend with the Secretary of Agriculture. And you're right. This hasn't gotten coverage in the news because Marjorie Taylor Greene's been slandering the president all weekend. But all the people on food stamps are going to have to prove their eligibility again. All 42 million SNAP recipients are going to be required to reapply and prove that they're eligible. That's huge. And that came out over the weekend. So I get what you're saying, but he's never going to get the fake news mainstream media to report what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm just worried. I'm in the boomer generation, and honestly, I mean, the boomers I talk to, they only watch mainstream media. I try to turn them on to your shows and the internet, the truth tellers, but they just don't. They just don't bother. They look at that, and I'm afraid for their voter block. I mean, we got to really get the message out even more. I mean, you guys are great. I love your show, but I mean, I just wish there was another bigger, way to get it out there, get this message, the truth out there, because these boomers don't get it.
Well, they get their news. I know what you mean. They get their news from CNN and MS Now, right? So I get it. There's nothing we can do about it. We can't control them.
Yeah. Well, I just wish, like I said, that caller, I think she made some sense in terms of the president just being a little more clear. He's the best at it, too, the best out of any president in my lifetime. Calling it like it is.
Yeah.
But I just still feel like he's just holding back a little bit. You know what I mean? He's still holding back. I wish he'd just be really honest. Every time he has the full court press, and you know what, during the State of the Union address coming up, I think he should say all of these things and make it clear to the world, what he's really facing.
Yeah, I agree. All right, make some good points. Tampa Bay, take care. Yeah, Tampa is, it's a rough town to live in. It is so cold in Tampa this time of year. Holy smokes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Brian? How you doing?
I can hardly hear you. You're breaking. I can get closer to the phone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Well, I just let me point something out here, okay? You're carrying on that Trump is he's ordered Congress to release the...
No, he didn't order. He doesn't have the authority to order Congress to do anything. It's a separate branch of government. He's called on the Republicans in Congress to hold a vote and vote to release all the Epstein files.
Oh, well, they were doing that anyway.
No, they were not. No, they took a vote. Yeah. They took a vote last week and voted against releasing them.
No, they had enough to release. That's why they didn't want to...
You're either hold on. You were either uninformed or a liar. No, they have not. That what you said is not true.
Oh, I know.
No, you don't know.
Not want to. Can you, dude? quiet for 2 seconds. Let somebody else get a word in. It's not all about you, Brian.
Oh, it's not?
That's why they did not want to swear in.
It's not?
They did not want to swear in. Oh, dude. See, you're impossible. That's why you report fake news. Okay?
No, you're the one. You're the one sharing fake news.
So they didn't. That's why Johnson did not swear in the Congresswoman from Arizona because she was the 218th vote.
No.
Yes. I'm sorry to report to you that it just makes.
No, they were not in. They were not in regular session. They were not in regular session. So what?
Of course they weren't. Of course they weren't in regular session because they just opened back up.
Well, President Trump. Well, listen. Stop whining like a hysterical woman. The president said last night.
That sounds like a sweet girl.
Excuse me. The president said, "I am speaking." The president said last night, when he got off of Air Force One, to release all of the Epstein files. Vote and release all the Epstein files.
They were doing that anyway.
No,
Brian.
they weren't.
They were doing that anyway.
They were not. All right, appreciate the call. They were not. Let me ask you this, guys, with the last caller. Is he just uninformed, or is he purposely lying to spread propaganda on the program? What do you guys think? I think you can be both, but I think it's number two because I've been reporting it all morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing?
All right. Turn down the volume in the background.
Okay. How you doing this morning? I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's really, the delay's driving. You got to turn down the volume in the background.
Let me ask you. Okay, I got you. I'm sorry about that.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I was just listening to the show. This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria.
I just called to say hi, y'all doing. Yes, I listened to CNN last night. I haven't just listened to it a little bit, and it make me throw up. It make me puke.
Really?
Because the simple fact she accusing our great president, Donald J. Trump, of threatening her, being threatened. Let me explain what I mean by that. She's saying that because of Trump called her a traitor, that's sitting up violent, and she's saying that when Charlie Kirk got killed, that woke her up. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you in Congress, okay? Don't act like you not in Congress. One thing I have to say about you, and I'm saying this personally, I have nothing against her. Politically, she destroyed her reputation.
Yep.
Politically, she doesn't have a leg to stand on because Charlie Kirk was killed not by a Republican, but a Democrat.
That's right.
And the threats against President Trump, and it's still going on, the threats. So at the end of the day, when you come speak to us, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got to be clear what you're talking about because President Trump have not threatened you. He didn't physically threaten you. He just called you out for who you are. Mm-hmm. And you need to understand that you can't go around making up lies when we, as a MAGA and Republican, been threatened. Been threatened this whole time. Republicans been threatened all our life, and just because you just come in a party, you think you have some leg, you think you the party? No, I don't think so. No. One man can't destroy this party.
Well, she's no longer MAGA, according to the president. She's not even fake MAGA. He has excommunicated her from the MAGA movement, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and labeled her a traitor. Well, listen, Maria in Florida, I got to run for a break. I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Sloman's Home Security, this is a great Christmas gift, all right, or holiday gift, if you don't do Christmas. This is a great gift for yourself and your spouse in your home or in your family. But it's also, I'm going to go through this special from Sloman's Home Security. This is also a great gift for your adult children who don't live in the house with you, or your or grandma or grandpa or your older mom and dad. Listen to this. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring, all for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. All you got to do is call 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's right. You get all that $24.95 a month for 5 years. This is a great Christmas gift, guys. Your Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door or window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad access. So you can check in anytime, anywhere, no matter where you are. Give them a call right now, no matter where you're located, for your free home security system and professional installation. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian. We'll be right back. Hey, you there? Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Put you on hold for a minute. Hold on. Okay, you there, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. We got a couple minutes still.
Okay, call me after the show.
Oh, hold on. I'll pick up the phone now. Hold on. Yeah, what's up? Which one? You talking about the body scan? Yeah. Oh, yes. Life imaging. Yeah, I'm going to do them next. Yeah, let me call you. I'll call you later today about it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, hold on.
You take the day off, right?
Yeah, hold on.
Yes.
Okay, we have less than a minute. We'll be back.
Okay.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning.
Oh, man, this was one of the biggest scandalous news weekends we've had in a long time, and that's saying a lot in the era of Trump.
You're talking about this Marjorie Taylor Greene deal?
Yeah. Well, the updates on the Epstein files and more. Yeah. I mean, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene is in a lot of trouble.
I don't understand. You know, I think about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, this whole Epstein thing from the beginning has been a diversion, which Trump has showed great restraint about and has not bought into going on. You agree that the whole thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Epstein files, that the Democrats, it's just a diversion. You agree with that, right?
Not at this point. No, there's other things in play.
Well, what?
Well, it's not. It is a diversion, but it's other things as well. It's an attempt to slander the president, and derail his entire agenda. And like it or not, anytime they bring up Epstein, it takes off like wildfire. And
well, but the point what you're saying, you agree that it's a diversion. And you're right, but so I don't understand why all of a sudden he's buying in. He's shown such great discipline and restraint to this point of not falling for it.
Yeah.
That it's a disappointment to see him buying in.
He's not buying in.
Not only that, it's a terrible mistake.
No, he's not buying in.
Why is he letting her divert?
He's not buying in. He is calling their bluff. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has betrayed President Trump, he smoked her out. And she's been involved in all these bizarro stock trades in the last couple of years in Congress. She's made $25 million on stock trades since 2021.
Doris Pelosi, and they didn't do anything to her.
Well, but we can't do anything about her. She's not one of us. She's a Democrat.
You're not going to do anything about this one.
Oh, yeah, she's in trouble. President Trump said over the weekend that, one, she's a traitor. He calls her Marjorie Taylor Greene now. He's excommunicated her from the entire MAGA movement, and he said that he is going to endorse a primary opponent and primary her out of office. She's done.
Let him do that. But in the meantime, this whole thing is a waste of time.
Well, if you've got a better topic than the number one story in politics and the media, I'm open to it.
Oh, I think I've got a better story.
Hold on. Let me put you on hold for a second. I answer the lines. Okay, the lines are blowing up. But those of you who are on hold, stand by. Okay, what do you think we should be talking about?
Well, I don't mind the Marjorie Taylor Greene. The question is why? What made Don lose his cool after all this time? Mm-hmm. He's been so good at resisting the diversion. The diversion works if he pays attention. He's been so good at not buying into it.
Because they took it to another level. I have never wanted to talk about this topic, but they took it to another level. What happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene is she started going on all these liberal shows, The View, she went on CNN and some others, bashing Trump and pushing this Epstein lie. So he had enough of it.
So why give her the exposure? Who the hell cares what Marjorie Greene says?
She's one of the top 5 people in the entire MAGA movement, or she was until this weekend. Yeah.
I don't buy it.
No.
I'm just curious why you let himself lose control like that.
Who's lost control?
He was right in ignoring, not buying into the diversion, and all of a sudden he showed restraint.
No,
and then all of a sudden he lost it. He got angry.
He's calm, cool, and collected. He's not angry at all. Listen, this is something they bring out every once in a while, and like it or not, I don't like it, but it's a story that sadly, it's a story, Steve, that sadly has legs. So now he's called their bluff.
It has legs because and other people pick up on it. That's why it's got legs.
You and I never talk about it, and he's going to get the issue resolved and done with once and for all, so they don't have that distraction anymore.
Well, he should. I have no problem with him doing that, but it's taking up airtime
Well,
talking about
this is the number one story in America right now in politics. So I don't know what you think we should be doing. If you know, every line's lit on the board. I mean, I don't know if you, what should we be talking about other than
I think,
the number one story?
I've never been a fan of all this MAGA crap.
I don't know what that means.
This is a great example. It means that we're buying into the enemy's plan. The enemy's plan is to use Epstein to avoid avoid Trump having an opportunity to
he's neutralizing
talk about his programs and what he's going to do.
He's neutralizing it. It's no longer going to be an issue when he's done. He's taking it out and exposing it.
All right.
It's like a disinfectant. I know. You know, it's your opinion. I agree. You know, I agree about the distraction part. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, Steve, now with she is one of the top 5 political people in the entire Trump MAGA movement. And she has been for years. And what we found out is that she's been secretly sabotaging Trump for years. And
there were a whole bunch of people. Tucker Carlson, you know, all these MAGA.
They're not. They're fake MAGA.
Gotten out of hand.
They're fake MAGA. Trump is MAGA, Steve. Trump is MAGA. It's his movement. These are fake Trump supporters that have been passing themselves off as Trump supporters for years. All right, do you want to take some calls, or what do you want to do?
Sure, why don't we do that?
Okay, before we take calls, I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA, right?
I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, you know, Life Imaging FLA is amazing because I've been telling you guys, I thought for years that I was going to have a heart attack in my 50s because my cholesterol has been so high since I was in my 20s. And when I went into Life Imaging FLA, you know, the night before I didn't sleep. And I went over there, a guy from the sales department set it up, right? And I went over there with him, and I was sweating. I didn't sleep the night before because I thought, I had my whole family prepared. I thought I was going to get my heart scan and be told I had a whole bunch of plaque and a whole bunch of blockage, and I was going to go straight to the ER. And by the end of the week, I was either going to have stents put in or open heart surgery, bypass surgery, right? And no plaque, no blockage, and I also had the cancer screening, and I had no cancer either. However, that is not always the case. They're saving lives all the time. I was just reading online here. Mimi, she went to Life Imaging FLA, and she got the heart scan, and she found out she had heart disease. No symptoms, and it's amazing, Steve. People, they have heart disease, and they don't even know it because they're not symptomatic for whatever reason. They had one guy that went over there, found out he had a bunch of blockage, was facing a heart attack. He was a cardiologist, Steve, and he had no symptoms.
Is the testing they do for cancer, what is it, blood testing? Or
no. It's the whole scan. It's a whole body scan.
I gotcha.
And by the way, it's not one of those MRI machines that makes all that noise that they put you inside of. It's like a ring. It's completely open. It's like a ring. You know, like the magicians put the ring over when they got the person levitate. It's a ring. You don't have to take off your clothes and put on a gown either. Okay, I didn't have to take off my watch. I wore my jeans and everything. And it's November, which is Men's Health Awareness Month, guys. And Life Imaging FLA, they're here to help you. Life Imaging FLA offers free heart scans with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. And when you're there, do what I did. Ask about that full body cancer screening for that ultimate peace of mind, or life-saving scan if they find something, which sadly they do, but it's not, and it's not sad that you found out you had something you didn't know.
Didn't know.
Yeah. So it's all about being proactive. And you know what the first sign of a heart attack typically is death, right? You have the heart attack and you're dead. Well, find out in advance. Life Imaging FLA have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. Pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in just seconds. All right? Okay, let me check the exact time, Steve, to see if we have time for a call. No, we don't. We only have a minute until the top of the hour. So if you're on hold, stand by. No, this is great, Steve, because after the first of the year, we're going to be in the midterm election season already. And what Trump is doing is smoking out the fake MAGA and taking care of this Epstein issue, so it's done and over for good. Before they want to make it a midterm election issue to destroy our chances of maintaining and gaining seats in the Congress, right? President Trump is going to neutralize this before the midterm campaign season even begins. And that's why it's important to do it now, which is what he's doing. So if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're located, 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. Steve Kane is here. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with more calls, and there's some other issues to talk about too. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, for a couple of minutes. Hold on.
Okay.
So what do you guys think? We're still in break on the radio. Steve's on hold. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on what Steve is saying here. Do you think it's a distraction we shouldn't be covering? Or do you agree with me that Trump is smoking out the fake MAGA and putting this Epstein issue to bed before we get into the midterm election season? Because they want this to be the big issue. No doubt about it. They want it to be the big issue. Okay, hold on. I'm talking to Mike. Hold on. Okay. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
We got 90 seconds. Oh, man. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. It's the Steve Kane Show. You want to go to the phone, Steve?
I had another question I wanted to bring up about this.
Yep.
We're talking about this from the point of view of Trump.
Yeah.
But what about Marjorie Taylor Greene? What got into her that she got involved in this thing to begin with?
Well,
it's very out of character for her.
No, in fact, it's in character, is what we're finding. My guess is it's these Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi-like stock miracles that she's making, and they got her. Plus, she's a deviant when it comes to morality. She was cheating on her husband.
Well, no, but I mean, why is she going? She started going after Trump. I don't understand why she's supposed to be an ally.
She's not. Hold on. Let me answer all these lines. That's why this is a news story. We all thought she was an ally, except Laura Loomer, who called her out like 4 years ago. But she's been working behind the scenes to betray Trump, and these stock deals may be what they're using against her to get her to betray Trump. There was a particular incident. Okay, did you see what Trump posted about this, Steve, at all over the weekend?
No, other than your description.
Okay, what pushed her over the edge to go full sabotage against Trump? She wanted to run for the U.S. Senate or the governor's office. And this is what the president said on Friday and Saturday. She wanted to run for Senate or governor in Georgia. And she called the president and asked for his support and endorsement. He had the Republicans do internal polling. She couldn't win. She down in the dumps. She had like 20% support. So we sent her the poll and said no. And he said because he wouldn't endorse her and support her for these loser races, that was the thing that made her turn and betray him. Those are his words. Yeah. So she's a narcissist. And I got a question. She's been on television the last couple of weeks saying that her kids can't afford food or health insurance. She's made $25 million on these Paul Pelosi-like stock picks since 2021. Why are her kids doing without basic necessities when she's got tens of millions of dollars that she's made in just the last 4 years with her Paul Pelosi-like stock market pick?
Yeah, I think she was speaking metaphorically when she talked about her kids.
I don't think so. I saw her in multiple interviews. She said her kids can't afford insurance, groceries.
Well,
I think they got her. I think they've got her, and I think she's pissed off at Trump.
That makes her look stupid.
When someone is she's angry at Trump, plus maybe they got something on her. When people are angry, they lose their cool and say stupid stuff. She's out of control. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. All right, let me try another one. You there, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, I'm from Florida, man. You guys are hilarious. And, let me just ask you one question. Do you think that Marjorie Taylor Greene, an ally who yelled at Joe Biden during the State of the Union address, okay, and basically even still says that she loves Trump, that basically MAGA people are just all narcissistic bigots who just basically say nasty things about people? You're talking about she cheats on her husband. Donald Trump never cheated on any of his wives. It's just funny how the MAGA base treats one another. And she is absolutely right to say that she wants those Epstein files out. And I guarantee it has nothing to do with any governor race or anything. It had to do with the fact that she is still going to push for the Epstein files. And Trump just said today, let's release them. After how many times of him saying no, it's hilarious.
I would agree with one thing you said. I don't know what took him so long, but he should have done it a while back. It's just wasted time. Wasted time.
Hell have no such theory like a woman scorned.
What do you know about women, Tom?
Oh, there we go, Brian. Yep, let's interject that. Yep, Brian, you're so right. I just know what I see, and it's hilarious.
So let me ask you: when's the last time you kissed a woman who you're not related to?
Brian, if you didn't, let me tell you something, pal. You are a piece of work, bud.
Oh,
I
so
come out with something that's pretty realistic,
can't think of one?
That's all you got?
So you can't think of one? When's the last time you
You're
kissed a
pathetic,
girl you're not
Brian.
related to?
Brian, you're pathetic.
Yeah?
You're pathetic, Brian.
Yeah?
Marjorie Taylor
Green. Marjorie Taylor Green didn't kiss you.
Supported him. It's hilarious how much he supported that man.
Do you like to kiss women? Do you like to kiss women?
So I'll tell you, man, you guys got some pretty crappy morals for Christians. You know that?
Are you coming out to us?
All you do is you guys are like high schoolers. You just make fun of each
Steve,
other.
What do you think? Is Tom coming out of the closet?
Oh, I've never heard Christians talk like that. What a loser! What is this? What is that?
I didn't say you're a loser.
Bigot.
I didn't say you're a loser.
Hilarious.
I didn't say you're a loser.
Trump says it all the time. I'm not talking about you because I'm not going to fall into your microphone. Whatever you got.
Then why do you call?
Radio.
Why do you call then? And listen.
Well, Brian. Well, is this a radio station that takes callers?
Yeah.
Oh, so why do I call? You just answer your own question, Brian. What,
you say we're not worth it. You don't want to talk to us, but you call us. We don't call you. So of course you want to talk to us.
What do you think of these Epstein files? Do you think they're going to have Trump's name all over it?
No, you didn't answer my question. Hey, take care, Tom. Oh my goodness, I almost feel bad. I almost feel bad in that instance. Almost, but not. He was about ready to come out, Steve. You back?
It was an interesting interchange.
Nah, I don't know about interesting, but I didn't. The materials I had to work with were poor materials. Tom. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey there, my name's Chris. I'm coming from Seattle, Washington. I was born in Thailand. I lived in New York for a couple of years. I just want to come talk to you because talking about a lot of important things here. I just want to ask, what do you want to start with?
It's not how it works. Did you leave your brain in Thailand? You're watching it. You're listening to
have you been listening to the show, sir?
Okay, well, we've gone between different callers. We've gone and we talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We talked about the.
Well, but what have you heard what have you heard that you find interesting that you want to talk about?
Anything.
Well, you called us.
Is what we're here to talk.
We're here
to talk, right?
We're not here to pitch stories to you. You listen to us. You hear something that you take issue with, and then you call and you talk to us about it. You don't call in and say, run your issues by me like you're an editor in a newsroom and we're pitching stories to the editor to get in the paper. You were listening to the program, pick one of the topics that you have an issue with, and we'll talk about it.
I'm listening to the program. We had a caller come on a couple of callers ago, and they started talking, and you immediately interjected and said that that's not the topic at hand. So
well, he was talking. It's not open phones today. He was calling in.
What topic would you prefer to cover?
That guy called in about the difficulties of being a carpenter in Michigan with illegal aliens, which is in the middle of a discussion we're having on Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Epstein files and stuff. So I said, that's not what we're talking about today. All right, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go, but, whatever. I mean, my goodness. A lot of what, you have, Steve, with the younger generation today is just narcissist. He thinks that people are interested in his thoughts, and he's just here, and you and I are just going to run issues by him.
You got some real winners out there.
And some real losers. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. All right, we'll try one more before the break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm anonymous. I'm calling about the base and support for Donald Trump right now. I just don't know where they're at. For example, Les Wexner in the Mega Group. Do you think that was part of the base of the Mega Foundation?
I don't know what the Mega Foundation is, and I don't know who you're talking about.
It's a group of 50 of the richest and most powerful Jewish people in America.
Oh, rich Jews. Okay.
And it was founded by Lex Wester, who was neighbors in a couple different homes of Jeffrey Epstein. He gave his entire fortune over to him. What about Nephilim?
What about? Why don't you just tell us? I don't understand. You got
to.
What? I don't.
That talked about giants.
You have an issue with Jews that have money? I don't understand your point.
Well, right now it would seem that Mega needs to have some support from its founders.
What is Mega? What is Mega?
Mega is a group of 50 of the most powerful Jewish people in America.
What does it stand for? What does Mega stand for?
Well, that's why I'm calling you.
It's an acronym. I've never heard of Mega.
You've never heard of the Mega Group?
No.
That Jeffrey Epstein took over the wealth of Lex Wexter? Lex had a house next to the New York.
My interests are different. I think the problem is you and I. Excuse me, I'm speaking now. I'm responding to your stupidity. You and I have different interests. He hung up, but I'll answer. He's listening.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're still here? Okay. You have it for some reason. You like to obsess over dead pedophiles that have been dead for 6 years. I don't really spend any time thinking about pedophiles, living or dead. Okay? So no, I'm just not interested in any of that. And this Mega, what does Mega stand for? It's an acronym for something.
Well, you're the expert on that. You say that you're here to discuss all things Mega. You're the voice of that.
Mega, I'm not familiar with this Mega.
You've never heard
He's trying to say MAGA.
I know, Steve.
Right.
I know. I know what he's trying to say, but he's too stupid to say it.
What about the Old Testament?
What about the Old Testament? Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Can we get the guy back from Thailand, Steve? Can we get him on the air? Oh my goodness! What is it with a lot of these guys that sit around obsessing over a pedophile that's been dead for 6 years? I don't understand that. That's just not on my radar screen. I just don't follow that. Steve, it's been 3.5 years since you went over to Lighthouse Medical for your neuropathy treatment.
God, seems like just yesterday.
Yeah. This is the thing. The neuropathy is so, it's such a painful disability, and there's so much suffering with it. When you first went over to Lighthouse Medical, you just wanted relief. You wanted your neuropathy symptoms gone yesterday, which they did, by the way. In fact, I remember you had the treatments. It was either a Thursday or a Friday. I can't remember. And I called you on Saturday, and I said, I haven't heard from you. How'd the treatment go? You said you're already seeing relief after that first treatment.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. You had the treatment on Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. And I talked to you on Saturday, and you're saying the symptoms are already disappearing. It's amazing. But the thing about it is you're suffering so much, you just want relief from that suffering. And you're not thinking about next year or 3.5 years later. But what we found is...
most places you go, they tell you there's nothing they can do for you, and that it's an untreatable thing. And boy, I was glad to find out that wasn't the truth.
Heck yeah.
They're great folks up there.
Yeah.
At Lighthouse Medical.
And what we found out is Lighthouse Medical not only has a treatment for neuropathy that works, it's a treatment that lasts, because 3.5 years out, your symptoms haven't returned, which is amazing. It's absolutely, you got your life back, your neuropathy's gone. And, a cool thing about Lighthouse Medical, Steve, in this day of, Zoom and remote medicine and all that stuff, no matter where you're located in the United States, Lighthouse Medical can do with you what they did with Steve, rid you of your neuropathy symptoms. Give them a call. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. And, I was over there the other day, Steve, and they were telling me they have 2 groups of listeners that come in, 2 different types. There's a group of people that are listeners that hate me, and then there's another group that hate you, and then there's a third group that likes us both. But it's amazing to me that there's people that listen to this show that like you and not me, or like me and not you. I don't get this. But but they all go over there because they're suffering from neuropathy, and you don't have to suffer. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation, which is exclusive to Steve Kane listeners, okay? 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute, Steve. Hold on.
All right.
All right, guys, we'll be back in about a minute. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. All right, Steve, we have 30 seconds. Are you there? I got to call Steve back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back to the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Steve and Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, guys. Looking this Epstein thing is, to me, the Democrats have they've been making a lot of beds with this Epstein dirty laundry, crap for a while, and they're trying to throw Trump and MAGA through projection, trying to throw them into those beds, and Trump's just coming out. He's coming out with the bleach. I think he's gonna clean up. Everybody's gonna see the reality of this, that it's not Epstein Island, it's Democrat Island. I think Trump kind of lured him in a manner of speaking. I think he just let them kept digging and running their mouths.
I'll tell you this: if he doesn't clean this up, they're going to make it a big issue during the whole election year next year, and he's taking the one issue that, I like it or not, distraction or not, the story has legs every time they drop it.
Yeah, it's a Rahm Emanuel. They're bleeding it slowly. They just keep coming back for another bite.
That's right.
Bite.
Yeah, listen, I'm up against it, but I gotta let you go. But I appreciate the call. As much as I don't like the story, it's a story that every time it's in the news, it takes off for whatever reason, both online and on television. And okay, all right, we got you back, Steve. So what I was just talking. What Trump is doing is very, very smart. But I'm going to go back to the phones. All right, Steve, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's very, very. But I'm going to go back to the phone.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
All right.
Chicago.
Hey, Chicago. Turn down the volume of the device you're listening to us on in the background, all right?
Hey,
how is that?
That's great. What's on your mind, Chicago?
Hey, listen. I'm 39 years old, and I didn't vote for Trump, but he's our president, right? So I'm a truck driver. I've been doing it for 13 years. I'm from Chicago, and I just wanted to say that there needs to be more. Everybody needs to be included in this thing. This is not about Trump, Democrats. This is the United States of America, right? How about we turn down this BS back and forth? How about we do stuff that serves everybody? Red states, blue states. Dude, I just had my first baby, me and my wife, and we can't even afford groceries. Mm-hmm. I'm not concerned about all this other BS. Let's get down to what the American people really needs. Let's get people less dependent on government programs. Let's get people, jobs. Let's get the immigration policy.
All that sounds good. I got a question for you. First off, I'll just respond. Trump is trying to do all those things, okay, and he's doing it. But here's my question to you. Why did you have a baby if you can't afford to feed it?
No. I can afford it.
You said you can't afford food. You said you can't afford food.
Hold on. We can afford it. What I'm saying is it's high. Everything is high. Everything is expensive. We all got to be. See, this is the thing. We all got to be realistic about what's going on, right? So the reality is everything is high. I don't know who did it. I don't want to point the fingers. I don't know if it was Joe Biden.
Well, I don't know who it was. Hold on a second. I just got a text from my wife. All right, listen to this, Steve. This is some good news. Listen to this. My wife is doing the grocery shopping on Instacart, with the home delivery for the grocery store.
Yep.
Publix, and those of you that are not in Florida, Publix is the big major grocery chain in Florida. My wife's shopping on Instacart. All steaks at Publix are 23% off this morning. 23% off. And you know what I'm wondering? President Trump announced over the weekend he's lifting those tariffs on beef imports. I wonder if that's got something to do with it.
I think that. Hey, Brian, let me ask you a question, though. Can we all agree that when I think of leadership and I think of the President of the United States, right,
I want him to be firm, fair, and consistent with everything he do. His policies are one way he's got the tariffs going, and the next minute he's cutting it down. It's just too much flip flop. I need to see real leadership. I need to see him
what is he flip flopped on? What is he flip flopped on? I missed.
I mean, all his tariff policies in hold. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm a truck driver. I've been doing it 13 years. I go to these farms, right? I go to all over the country, the United States of America, right?
Yep.
And I'm seeing that. Well, first of all, our rates as far as a truck driver are in the trash, right? They're in the hole. We're not making no money out here driving trucks. It is ridiculous, right? So that's number one. But if the stuff in the stores are higher, guess who's absorbing the price? The consumer. We're paying more.
No. You said you made a statement. You said Trump is flip flopping on the issues. Flip flopping means he had a position and he flipped
on everything.
What did he flip flop?
On everything.
Pick his biggest flip flop.
Okay. A perfect example. I've been watching your show. Perfect example. Trump just said he want the Republicans now to go ahead and release the files. He should have been did that. You don't think he
should have been did that? He's doing it now. That's not so what?
Right, but at first he was against it, right? He was fighting against it, right? Just a couple of days ago he was fighting against it.
Yes.
Every day you wake up, it's a different tweet.
That's not a.
And it's different.
Changing your mind on something's not a flip. A flip flop would be this. You got a president who's pro-life, against abortion, and then all of a sudden they're advocating for abortion. That's a flip-flop. Changing your mind on an issue like the Epstein files is not a flip-flop.
Okay. All right. So listen, how about we release? Even Charlie Kirk, before he passed away, said, "Hey, we need to release these files." Do you agree? Do you agree that the files need to be released?
Listen.
Yes. The files. Listen.
And President Trump agrees too.
And let's get back. Let's get back to the economy. Let's get back to America first. Let's stop sending money to
President Trump said over the weekend again. Hold on. President Trump said over the weekend again, after the first of the year sometime, we're all getting $2,000. So you and your wife are going to have four.
I don't believe it.
Oh, so Trump's a liar?
I don't believe it.
Trump's a liar now. You think he's a liar?
Well, I'm not calling him a liar. I'm not calling him a liar.
He said it like 5 times.
I believe it. Well, he said a lot of shit, though.
All right. Okay, first dump of the day. First dump of the day. But just in time for a break. So we'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back. Hold on, Steve. First dump of the day. There we have it. Oh, my goodness. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. All right. If you're would like to call in, please do. All right. All right. You back with us, Steve?
I am.
All right. Okay. I lost you there, and I called you back, but I got you now.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about. We're in break on the radio. Hold on, I'm gonna put you on hold for a second here. We're on break on the radio, but I do want to talk during the break about Tom Laporta. We got listeners all over the state of Florida that call Tom Laporta. It really amazes me. And, I was talking earlier, he did your roof. And
yes, he did.
I was talking earlier that to call him and his team roofers does a real disservice, because what they really are artisans, right? I mean, they do work like your roof. It's beautiful. You didn't get a standard roof. You got a new type of roof and different colors and everything else. And it totally changed your house. And I've seen some of the work he's done on the roofs of listeners, and they just do an incredible job. But one thing I wanted to mention, we used to talk about this a lot and haven't for a while, but Tom Laporta has the same roof tiles that President Trump has on the roof of Mar-a-Lago. So isn't that something? These are very special tiles and very special colors.
Top of the line.
Yeah.
Very beautiful, very hard to find, and you can get them through Tom, no question of that.
Yeah, Tom has them. So if you want to have a Trump roof or a Mar-a-Lago roof, whatever you want to call it, Tom Laporta can make that a reality, because he has those special roof tiles. And by the way, it's not just a different color and style. The roof tiles at Mar-a-Lago are a bunch of different colors. So not only do you have to have the tiles in the right multiple colors, you have to know how to install them properly So when the sun shines down on them, you got that Mar-a-Lago look. So it's this is what I mean by artisans. Give Tom Laporte a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. You can call or text because that's his cell phone. Okay, hold on. Let me check the clock. I got to touch base with Mike. We've been having some delay issues this morning, so we're... Okay. I'm just checking the break schedule with Mike the board up. Okay. What? 50 cents. Okay. Okay, so 20, 35. Okay, so 35, 40. Okay, we got about 40 seconds and we'll be back.
Okay.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Yes, the steaks, discount on the steaks. According to my wife, that's great. Maybe I could have some steak tonight. We haven't bought steaks in a while because they've been so expensive. Hey, that's Trump.
They haven't been.
No. Okay, stand by, 10 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane's here. It's the Steve Kane Show. So just reporting. I mentioned this before the break. My wife is doing the grocery shopping on Instacart, where you get the home delivery. Do you guys do that, Steve? Where you get the home delivery?
No.
Oh, it's so much easier. You never have to. You save so much money because you don't buy anything extra. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I go on my own, I'm going to buy the potato chips. I'm going to buy all that stuff. My wife told me on Instacart at Publix, all steaks are 23% off right now. So that's pretty darn good. I'm excited. So I cannot remember the last time we bought steak in my house, because the last time I physically went to Publix and I looked at the price of steak, I couldn't believe it, Steve. I thought it might be cheaper to go to a restaurant and have them make it for me. All right, you want to take some calls?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man, I'm coming anonymous to this call.
Like anybody would know who you are anyway.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you say you're anonymous. What are you, some kind of celebrity? People might know you if you're like your name's John or something. Say, oh, no, John. You would be anonymous even if you said your name.
What do you got for us, John?
All right. My name is Lee John for today.
Okay.
So I want to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene and what's going on with the whole breakaway. When it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think a lot of the rhetoric being thrown around has been almost sort of dangerous. So she's getting death threats now, and Trump is saying, oh, I don't think her life is in danger on Fox News. This was yesterday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time as he's entering Palm Beach. And I think I don't trust Marjorie Taylor Greene as much as anybody else.
Well, Laura Loomer did some investigating. Laura Loomer over the weekend contacted the local police where in Marjorie Taylor Greene's area where she's been. There have been no reports of any type of threats or anything to her about her or her family, according to Laura Loomer. Despite
that, I think President Trump, being the word of America, I think he does understand the depth that his breath carries, and him saying that he doesn't think her life is in danger when we're living in an era where
who would be threatening her? It's the liberals that are shooting people dead, like Charlie Kirk. So who would be threatening her?
It's a great point.
Oh,
do you have an answer, sir?
Mr. Anonymous hung up.
Oh. Well, I guess that's his answer.
Yeah, hold on, Steve. The phones are just blowing up here. I can't even keep up. I added some new phone lines, and they're all lit. I mean, I can't believe it. We have I don't want to tell people how many lines we have, but we have more phone lines than the last 4 or 5 radio stations we've been at combined. And they're all lit.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? No, now they're giving up before they even talk, Steve. I mean, they're just... all right, you're on the air. What's your name? This one's going to be good. You're on the air.
Yeah, Brian, don't hang up. Real quick. Donald Trump is not giving cash to people. He's giving them dividends to pay for health care.
No, he's not.
And Publix is lowering the price for Thanksgiving.
No, he's not.
Day.
No, he's not. No, he's not. You still haven't kissed a girl that you can remember, okay? All right, let's go. You're on. What does he feel like he's got to spin everything I say and then hang up like a girl and run away? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, we're getting a run of winners. I got to tell you, it's a run of winners on the line. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ricochet from Nevada today. How are you?
All right, Ricochet.
Hey, listen, Steve.
And before you go on, Ricochet, Tom, they've lowered turkey prices for Thanksgiving. Not the steak is not a Thanksgiving dish. Turkey is. They've lowered turkey prices for Thanksgiving, not steak. But anyway, go ahead, Ricochet.
Yeah.
An idiot.
No, Trump didn't give up or give in. You got to remember, Trump is a calculated master of the deal. He waits on things, doesn't comment, lets the anticipation build, ignores things to expose people, to build up all of this stuff until it's time that the keg is about to blow, and that's when he says, okay, now it's time to release it, because he knew all along that if enough people started talking about it, it would build the anticipation to where now it's time to get it out in the open. Just like everything else. Everything is timed. Everything he does is specific. If he doesn't say something, there's a reason he didn't say something, and we won't know about it until it's time. But he does. He's 5 steps ahead.
Now hold on. Now I just got something here. My wife. Okay, we're talking about food prices so much, right? I got a question here, because I don't do the grocery shopping. And I don't like to pay attention to the prices, all right? I don't pay attention to the prices of anything. I let my wife worry about that.
You just do the eating.
That's right. I let my wife handle that. But my wife sent me a screen. Now, this is from Instacart. And my wife's doing the grocery shopping on Instacart at Publix. And she sent me a screenshot of the turkeys, right? Listen, and I want you to explain to me how this is at all possible and what's going on here, okay? Well, let me just read you the numbers. Now, Publix is the big grocery chain here in Florida. Publix young turkey, limit 2, 16 to 20 pounds, okay? USDA grade A is $11.25, 54 cents a pound. It is $11.25 for each turkey. This is a discount of 81% off. Before this sale, it was $59.78. So how did they go from $59.78 to $11.25 on a dime like that, 80% off? Here's another one, another turkey. They're all 81% off, $11.94. Before this sale, it was $63.48. How could they drop 81% on a dime? That sounds like price gouging, doesn't it, to you guys?
It is, and a lot of these grocery warehouses too have been full of food, and we just not been releasing it. I go to the Purdue factories, I go to the chicken houses, I go to the packing plants. I see all of the stuff that we're hauling into these warehouses, that they're holding on, they're sitting on them, they're either
I'll tell you what I think it is. You know what I think it is? I think that the grocery stores haven't been selling food at the levels they have because of the SNAP. And they've lowered their prices to the proper prices now. They're desperate for sales.
Supply and demand.
Well, they've lowered their prices to the proper prices as opposed to these artificially inflated prices. You can't be in business if you drop the price 81%. They're still making money on that 81% drop.
They are, and when you get the SNAP benefits, that's a government subsidized thing, so they can increase the price because they're getting more money now that they got rid of that. The demand has gone down. The money's going to go down because it's not being subsidized. So that's the whole thing. Groceries will come down when we get rid
President
of all
President Trump with the SNAP has found a way to lower food prices. You're right. That's
a partial, yeah.
Yeah. They're not selling as much, so you're not doing as many grocery deliveries as you would be doing in your semi, right?
Exactly.
Because they're not selling as much.
It all works together. It's a big full circle that people don't realize when they say, "Oh, the tariffs are going up." Well, they may a little bit, but things are going to balance out in another area. Give it time. All of these things together is going to bring it way down.
At 11.25, 81% drop for this 16 to 20 pound. By the way, that's a huge turkey. 16 to 20 pounds. They're still making money, right? You know what it's it's like with the SNAP benefits. The food stamps have been driving up the price of food. It's like when the government got involved in funding college education prices went up. It's a similar thing. Food prices are high because of the food stamp people.
It monopolizes and it causes the monopolies on certain people. And when you get rid of the government, you get rid of all these big things.
I mean, this feels like a big scam going on in the food. Listen, I got to run. It's Gold Report time. So, but appreciate the call, Ricochet. Before the Gold Report, though, it's Monday and it's cold. Man, it's been cold. Are you waking up aching and in some pain from doing things over the weekend? Right? Maybe you cleaned out the garage like I did. Maybe you went and played golf like Kai Trump or played pickleball or something, and you wake up on Monday and you're in pain. Go see Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain like I've done 7 times. Steve, like you with with Lighthouse Medical. Dr. Appleton, the first time he rid me of pain was 3.5 years ago. It was my knee pain that I suffered from for about 30 years. After 2 treatments, my pain was gone, and 3.5 years later, the pain has not returned. He relieved me of pain 6 times after that for a total of 7, and none of the pains have returned. Give Dr. Appleton a call. The consultation is free. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation. Sit down with Dr. Appleton and let him tell you how he can help you say bye-bye to your pain, too. Here's his number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be back with the Gold Report after this. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold while I call William.
All right, don't lose me.
If I do, I'll call you back. Okay? Hold on. I can. Yeah, you sound perfect. Okay, great. I'm going to put you on hold. Stand by. Yeah, they've been price gouging us. How can they drop price? Remember I told you the turkeys are 81% off, and all the steaks are 23% off. See, they've been artificially inflating all the food prices at all the grocery stores. That's why the prices have been so high. It's all that SNAP stuff.
Yeah.
The government funding food buying has been driving up the cost. This is insane. Hold on. I've got William on hold. I'm just waiting to see when we're going to be back. Okay, hold on. I got to do math here. 48. Okay, we'll be back in 35 seconds. All right, William, we have 30 seconds, so stand by.
Oh, okay.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve's here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with our first look at gold and the other precious metals for the week. William Youngerman, how are the metals opening?
Metals are lower this morning, or at least most of them are, except for silver, and they continue to trade in a trading range after hitting the all-time highs, going back and giving us some good, nice buying opportunities, 38.50 on the low for gold within a week or so, and then coming back, almost making a double top last week, and then pulling back from that. Friday, we saw gold trade as high as $4,211. And then was as low as $4,032 before closing out the week at $4,080.70, which was down $89.60 on Friday. Silver was down $1.73 on Friday, closing at $50.47. Platinum lost $40 at $15.41. And palladium was down $29 on Friday at $13.81. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,049 on the low, all the way up to $41.07 so far this morning. And right now, we're down $10.70 at $4,070. Silver up 13 cents at $50.60 the ounce. Platinum down $3 at $1,538. And palladium down $5 at $13.76. So the markets are trading sideways for the most part and giving us a little bit of a pullback, giving us some time to add to our positions before we stretch out and make a new high, probably by next year, possibly even before the end of this year.
Yeah, I mean, but things are looking good. I mean, you know, we're over 4,000 on gold still. This is great. We're over 50 on the silver. I mean, these are amazing numbers. You know, I never get used to them. You know, it's so exciting, isn't it? I mean, it just is. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can call or stop in. And remember, if you can't stop in, you can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. His address in Boca Raton is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his address and phone number online at WilliamYoungerman.com. That's WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thanks.
All right, take care. You know, it's amazing, all this food cost, it's the food stamps. You know, and it goes back, Steve. You back with us, Steve?
I'm with you.
Okay. It goes back to the old thing that Ronald Reagan and Rush used to talk about. Anytime the government gets involved in something, whether it's healthcare or in this instance buying food or college education, it drives the price up. And over the weekend, the Secretary of Agriculture, President's Secretary of Agriculture that handles the food stamp program, said we know there's 42 million SNAP recipients. All of them are going to have to reapply and prove their eligibility. So now we have found the secret sauce to lower food prices. Reform SNAP. There's too many people on food stamps. That's what it is. I mean, these are 81% drop on turkeys at Publix. Come on. They're still making money on that. All right, let's go back to the phones. This is an amazing story. I got to thank my wife, Steve, for sending that over. I mean, this is amazing. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? We broke some news here.
Hey, I'm from California. I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, hey, I wanted to talk to you about the food stamp issue. I think your analysis is interesting. I agree people need to, not rely on government programs, but if the problem is lazy food stamp people, food stamp enrollment went up 6 million Americans during Trump's term before COVID hit. So if the economy was booming and people needed to get more jobs, why were millions of more Americans needing food stamps under Trump?
I don't know that what you said is true. But I know what the situation is now. And
that's straight from the USDA. That's straight from the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
I'm talking about what's going on
Wait,
now.
Whatever?
Let me finish my sentence and then disagree with it, okay? So it'll sound like meaningful disagreement, not just some liberal jerk on the line that's going to disagree with anything. When we're talking when we're talking about food stamps, what was true in 2018 or 19 is not relevant right now. We're in 2025, and what we found out is that there are tens of millions of people that are committing food stamp fraud. I saw some of these people on TikTok and on X, they're getting $4,000 and more a month somehow through food stamp fraud. Okay? It's a big problem. And now we find out that it's driving up our food prices, that you liberals are all, always saying, why doesn't Trump do something about it? And now we have found out what he can do about it. Reform SNAP, because that's what's been driving up the food. How do you explain an 81% drop in the price of a turkey? They're still making money. How do you explain that,
So
California?
if people are, if people have jobs but still need food stamps, doesn't that mean that might be about affordability, not laziness?
We're not talking about everybody on food stamps. We're talking about the fraud in the system. The people getting $2,000 to $4,000 a month. That's fraud.
Okay, well, the bigger question is about wages.
No.
And whether they're too
wages,
low.
The wage, you know, what do you do for a living?
That's totally not part of this conversation.
It is.
What's the point
is.
of you asking that?
Is.
No, it's not.
Why is that so offensive to you to ask what you do?
Because you're totally deflecting.
It is a normal question for men to ask other men. Sometimes, what do you do for a living? What's your line? That's another way to say it.
Okay.
Only liberals
here's
find
one man
that.
to another man
Only liberals
saying,
get all touchy about that.
Here's one man to another man saying you're deflecting and not owning the actual conversation. Unemployment low. That means people are working. If people working full time still require food stamps, isn't that a cost of living problem?
Why are you embarrassed of your? What are you, an OnlyFans guy or something?
Why are you not actually addressing the argument?
Well, you say you're talking in vague college lecture, meaningless talking points. We're talking about real world here.
Yet again, not actually going into the heart of the argument.
Either you're unemployed or embarrassed by what you do.
So now you're going ad hominem rather than addressing the argument.
No, everyone's opinion, when you're talking about political issues, everyone's opinions on political issues are based on their own personal situation. And you're hiding, you're ashamed
not when you
of
can
yours.
look at things, not when you can look at things objectively, homeboy.
You're anything but objectively, and I'm not your homeboy. Whatever that means.
Yeah, no, you're not. So let's go really quick. Who should be held responsible when a person works full-time and still can't afford groceries?
The person.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who
not
else
a larger
should be?
system
Who else should
that
be?
creates
I'm
working
responsible?
poor?
You're responsible for my food?
Working poverty is an American fact.
What you're
bud.
talking about is communism. You're like, you're a Mamdani guy, probably.
I'm not in New York. I don't give a shit about that
Okay.
guy.
Oh, second dump of the day. Assalamu alaikum. We got a second dump of the day. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Why do you?
That's too bad.
It is.
Clone.
It is. I know. We had places to go with that, and you know, what is it with liberals that get very uptight when you ask them what they do for a living? Why does that bother liberal so much? Doesn't bother conservatives. They'll tell, I'm a truck driver, I'm a plumber, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a maintenance man, I'm a janitor. I don't understand what it is about liberals that's like a hot button issue for them. They just freak out. Speaking of eating, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Oh man, you know, Coastal Weight Loss Secret, guys, you've got plenty of, and girls, you've got plenty of time, okay? Lose that weight. I'm so looking forward to our holiday time this year, the Christmas parties, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, all that stuff. I see the people that I see once every 1 year, every 5 years, every 20 years, and they're going to see this miraculous weight loss. And I'm going to be the one that looks like they did 29 years ago, and they're going to look like heavier than they looked last year. I mean, it's real nice. People are really, you know, I get a lot of comments about my weight loss, of course, and they tell me you look great, you have lost a lot of weight. And I saw a video of mine from last year on YouTube, the one when I did that documentary tracing the Trump assassin that tried to kill the president in Palm Beach. Oh my goodness, I don't know who that person is. It doesn't look like me because I've lost so much weight. But the one of the major comments I get is how much younger I look, that I look younger. I get that a lot. And having a completely flat stomach, which is something I never thought I would be able to achieve, I've done it. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and talk to them about how, well, you can lose all this weight too. And they can help you no matter where you are in the United States, okay? 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Now, I'm going to make a prediction, Steve, or as we're approaching the end of the show, but I'm going to make a prediction. The SNAP benefits are all coming back now. It's going to drive the food prices up. So the next time you hear someone talk about the high price of food, you'll know it's because of the SNAP food stamp benefits. Okay? And you can go back to the last 30 minutes of this program, the Steve Kane Show, on November 17th, 2025, and get the truth about what's going on with food, because there's been a dramatic drop in the price of beef and turkey. 81% off on turkey prices right now at Publix through Instacart. Right? And the steak prices, all the steaks are on sale. Let me get the price right. I wonder how much housing is up because of government Section 8. At Publix, steaks are 23% off, all of them. It's because of SNAP.
It's a deal.
As soon as people start getting their food stamps again, the prices are going to go through the roof. They're going to blame Trump. Don't blame Trump. Blame SNAP. The government should not be involved in buying food like they're doing. And that's why we're paying so much for it. All right, that's all the time we have today. Monday is over. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane has been here. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in. God bless America. God bless Trump. All right, Steve, I'll call you in a bit, okay?
All right.
All right, take care. You guys, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. What do you think about that? It's unfortunate that guy said the cuss word because we're on the radio then. I had to let him go. I would have continued to talk to him. But, you know, and did you hear the panic with him? Because what that guy was doing, he immediately wanted to talk about President Trump's first term and not this. Because we've gotten a big secret. The high price of food is because so many people are receiving SNAP benefits. Now, I'm not opposed to SNAP benefits for people that are deserving. And if you're someone who's listening to my voice or watching me on YouTube and you are deserving and in need, maybe you've fallen on hard times, maybe you're disabled, maybe something, maybe you've lost your job, you've got your family, your kid. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these freeloaders that were on X the last couple of weeks that are perfectly able and they're healthy. And they're getting, some of them, $2,000 to $4,000 a month in SNAP benefits. This is why the food prices are high. It's because of SNAP. That's it. And I don't want somebody who is in need receiving benefits to think I'm talking about you or think something's wrong with you. No, you're all right. And you're doing, that's what our society is for, is to take care of people like you in need or have fallen on hard times. I'm talking about the freeloaders, and you know the difference. And now this week, all the SNAP cards are going to get loaded up and our food prices are going to go up just when we're seeing them drop. It's really upsetting, isn't it? Right? It is. And, you go through whatever the government gets involved in. Now we know we can add food to the list. I don't think this is something we ever knew before. I'm sure the grocery stores and Walmart and all of them know it. The retailers that sell food, they knew. But I did not know what an impact government food stamps had on the price of food. I've been seeing these stories in the last week about huge percentages of Walmart's business is based on SNAP, and I guess that's more common than we thought, and there are more and more people on it than ever before. But you look at college education, you look at healthcare, what are other things that the government's involved in that's driving up the price? I would imagine renting homes, because they're involved in rent subsidies, the government, right? Section 8 housing and such. And that's we know that's been driving up rent prices. This is pretty scary stuff. But I'm glad we found out about this, and thanks to my wife Kathy for sending me that information, because that's some new information, and I got the screenshots, the receipts to prove it. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. All right. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Take care. I'll talk to you later.